Last night saw the conclusion of a truly fantastic summer of sport, and I speak as someone who didn't really care about sport much till this summer. With a phenomenal 120 medals at the end of the tournament, 34 of them gold, the Paralympics has been, if anything, even more exciting and uplifting than the Olympics themselves, and has highlighted the enormous ability, diversity, and above all, normality of the athletes. As I speak, the Olympic celebration parade is snaking its way through central London. They started at Mansion House and are making their way to the Mall, watched by over 1 million people on London's crowded pavements. 700 athletes are travelling on these floats, and it will come as no surprise that this parade is every bit as enthusiastically supported as the Games themselves. What a sight. We'll never forget this year, will we? But it's not just in sport that there are Paralympic champions, and today we're going to meet some others who are achieving outstanding results in their chosen field. First, a man who is the first ever single-handed pianist to graduate from the Royal College of Music. Please welcome Nicholas McCarthy. Nick, lovely to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, some people would think a pianist with just one hand, it's a no-go, it's a non-starter. You're the first one to go there, but clearly music has been written for single-handed pianists.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not the first career choice one would think when you have one hand, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of left-hand alone repertoire written just specifically for the one hand, which is great for me.
But you must have had to be ferociously determined. Lots of people presumably try to discourage you.
I think determination's kind of inbuilt into people. I think if you want something, it's very clear that you're going to go and get it. So, yeah, I think I had a good support network around with my family and friends, and, yeah, just went for it.
And you were at the closing ceremony of the Paralympics last night?
I was, fresh from the closing ceremony.
So, I mean, the atmosphere must have been astonishing in that arena.
It was absolutely amazing, and also I think now it's going to dwarf any other gig that I do now. It's going to be, you know, Royal Albert Hall's going to be tiny compared to the Paralympic Stadium, so it was just wonderful. You
can't obviously do Grieg's Piano Concerto or Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto, but is there a wealth then of repertoire for the left hand?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been concentrating on left hand alone repertoire since I was 17, solidly, and I've only covered about a third of it, so you can imagine how much you know, is available.
What does the future hold? I mean, you know, as far as you're concerned, this is a career in music now.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been performing since 2010 all over, and I've got my local concert in Fairfield Halls in Croydon on the 13th. That's this Thursday at 8 p.m, which I can't wait for. And, yeah, lots of other things coming up, South Africa in March and things, so...
Brilliant. Clearly, everybody out there is dying. You're dying to hear him play now, aren't you? What are you going to play for us, Nicholas?
I'm going to play a short extract of my favourite piece. It's Scriabin's Nocturne.
Scriabin's Nocturne. Over to you.
Thank you.
Whoa. Thank you very much. Marvellous. Nicholas McCarthy. Well, next, a man who was a dancer in the opening ceremony of the Paralympic Games, David Toole. Here he is, doing his day job with the DV8 Dance Company.
Would you like to dance? Don't be embarrassed. Maybe you'd like a drink. It'll help you relax. Or maybe you'd like something else. Maybe you'd like all of me. Or maybe just my arms. Can you imagine these wrapped around you? Can't with the legs. The only good thing about those is they come in a pair.
Whoa. David, talking to Nicholas about determination, surely it takes bloody mindedness when you've got no legs and say, I want to be a dancer. How did people look at you, you know?
I think it helps being a grounded northerner, and I'm a very stubborn grounded northerner, so I've always been one of those people that if I was told not to do something, I'd go and do it just to be awkward. So I was fortunate to meet the right people to get into the thing, but I had varying advice from family and friends saying, you know, I was in a steady job at the time, and it was like, oh, you don't want to do that, you want to stay where you're at. So, and I think that was the thing that made me go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go do that. It's like running away to the circus for me. It was always kind of in my blood, so just had to be done.
Because the creative juices keep flowing, regardless of one's physical presence or capabilities.
Absolutely.
So from your point of view, not to dance would have been dreadful.
Well, I mean, ever since I was a child, and as far as I can remember, I've always been, well, my music teacher called me a show-off. I would tend to say performer, but... so it was always there, and the opportunity was never there. And then, like I say, about 20 years ago, I met the right people and got the opportunity to join a dance company. And it was just like, oh, my God, I found the thing that I want to do. So.
Well, talking about, you know, pinnacles of career, I mean, the opening ceremony of the Paralympics, which you were in, is... I mean, how did that compare as a performance? You know, unforgettable images of you there.
It was amazing, and for somebody who's actually petrified of heights, it was probably not the best career choice in the world. But you just couldn't turn it down, and the feeling, it's like Nicholas said, the atmosphere in that stadium is just immense.
There's a spectator, I went to see some of the athletics there. The thing that struck me about it was the intimacy of that stadium. It looks enormous on the box. When you get there, it is enormous, but it's terribly intimate and incredibly friendly.
Yeah, you would think it'd be daunting, but there were 70,000 people in that stadium, but it just felt like a kind of huge family. It's like you knew everybody, and it was... Because it's so vast, your mind does a little flip.
Yeah.
And you go, OK, to deal with the fact that it's so vast, I'll imagine it as a, you know, this is my front room. I'm just dancing in my front room at 20 metres in the air, which, obviously, that would be a big living room.
Well, we enjoyed your front room, ladies and gentlemen, David too. Now, David's not let the fact that he has no legs prevent him from dancing. My next guest has no arms, but is an accomplished artist. Please welcome Tom Yendall. Hello. Tom, good to see you. Hello. Now, you are a victim of something that's been much again in the news recently, of thalidomide. So, no arms.
Absolutely, I was one of the young ones.
One of the younger ones, yeah. They gave you arms, I gather, at the beginning, but you didn't get on with them.
No, not really. They gas-powered arms. There were two very bad things about gas-powered arms. Everyone thought I had terrible flatulence, because every time I did something else... and also the gas would run out, so very often I'd have to walk home with my arm up in the air, you know. But I use my feet, just like you use your hands. So I suddenly, you know, very quickly realised that you deal with what you've got, with not with artificial things, but deal with the things that you can use.
Your paintings are wonderful. You're running out. We live in the same village, quite coincidentally. I looked at my running on today and said, "Oh, Tom's on." We live in the same village, so we know one another quite well. And you paint with your mouth.
Both.
You've got feet as well.
Yeah. I've just gone back to foot.
Yeah.
And that's because it's a lot freer. I found, especially with flowers and things, you know, it's about putting your heart into it. So painting with your feet is a lot freer than...
your heart gets to your feet quicker than your mouth. That's interesting, isn't it? There's a lovely Christmas card design you've done here, which is from Silk Screen.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Can we just see you in action on this? I want to ask you to talk at the same time.
No, I'm pretty good at talking.
You talk at the same time as you paint with you.
Yeah.
There's a gallery quite near us in a little village called Selborne, which is for foot and mouth artists, and the windows are always full of the most astonishing paintings. I didn't know you did two at once.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is really showing off. Look at this. Two.
Cool.
You're allowed to do it wrong because you're on the telly.
Oh,
it's not your artist studio. Well, it's just the nerves. But this is astonishing. It obviously took years to perfect. How long have you been doing it, Tom?
Well, all my life, really.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that, then.
Oh, that's right. Guys, I've got to ask all three of you, I bet the vast majority of people out there in the audience, when the Paralympic Games were coming, thought, well, OK, it'll be a bit of a... After the Olympics, it's going to be a bit of an anticlimax, really. It seems to me... Tommy, you can come and join in this now and stop painting. It seems to me, if anything, it's not overshadowed it, but it's... Well, it has to me now. I think people have been so blown away. Has it done wonders for disabled people?
I think it's definitely kind of increased the profile dramatically, you know, and as we know, it's always going from strength to strength, which is great, and hopefully it's going to be transitioning into the art world, the music world, and the dance world, you know, more and more.
I've met so many people since the opening, well, since the whole Paralympics, and said, oh, my perceptions have changed. And if that's the only thing that comes out of the last few weeks, that's got to be a major step up.
It's worth doing. We hope you three as well. We know you have managed to change perceptions. Great people. My thanks to Nicholas McCarthy, Tom Yandell and David Toole. Thank you very much.